online payments. So the world's becoming very much online, and I think with things like the coronavirus being quite topical, more and more people will want to just tap their card and go and not handle cash back and forth. But if you're doing straight online payments, the advice is try not to put your credit card details directly into all of the services that you want to purchase. Rather use a middleman like PayPal, where you put your credit card details into one service and then you use your PayPal service to pay all of the other online merchants and online service providers. Not everybody has PayPal integration, so unfortunately what happens is about 80% of the merchants online will allow you to pay via PayPal, and then you don't have to give them your credit card details. But it's best to try and do that first. Some of the benefits to this are when your credit card expires, you only have to change it in PayPal. You do not have to log into 10, 15, 20 different services and go and update your credit card details to keep all the services running. So that's really handy. Second thing to notice online is really only use services you trust. So the large guys like Amazon and fellows like that have a good reputation and will refund your money if you don't get your product, and places that have got a good reputation. On some services like eBay, it's hit and miss because they're not as in control of the vendor that's selling you the products as what people like PayPal are. So again, services that you trust, that somebody that you know has used and has a reference on, etc. Some of the simple stuff to do, though, is when you are using a service, verify that the site is secure, that it's using HTTPS, that when you look in the top left-hand corner of the browser, it's got a lock icon next to the name of the site. And you can click on the lock and verify that the details match the site that you're using. So making sure that the site is using secure communication is important. And never make payments from a strange device. And this applies to both computers and swipe cards, I would presume. So if you're in an internet cafe and you decide that you need to make an online payment, that's never a good idea. You never know what software is loaded on that device and whether it's going to skim the details out of that online banking interface or out of that online payment interface while you're using it. As much as there's encryption between the desktop and the website in the background that you're buying from, that doesn't protect you from software that's loaded on the machine. The encryption is between the 2 points. At the 2 endpoints, it is unencrypted so that they can work with the data. Now, the next one about using a dedicated card for online purchases is tricky. Most banks will only give you one credit card, and setting up a second bank account to have a second credit card is painful. There are some very nice vendors like Privacy that are only available in the US at the moment that give you virtual cards per vendor. And this is nifty because you can spin up a card and hand it to Amazon, and it can be valid for one payment and only for so many dollars. And that kind of service is coming to market, where you can have dedicated virtual cards for different vendors, and you can manage things like the amount of credit per card. You can expire individual cards, and you don't have the management nightmare that we have at the moment, where if your card details get out and somebody is trying to spend money on it, you have to cancel that card, and then every single online service that you've got running off that card then crashes and the payments don't go through. So having virtual cards is going to be the way to do banking in the future, and it'll be a place where you never give your credit card details out to any service. Your card details will stay with you, and then virtual clones of that thing will go out with different numbers. So in a lot of cases, the vendor will want to store your information even when you're just buying a once-off purchase. And preferably don't click this save my information for ease of use next time buttons wherever you go. That means they don't have your information, and if they get hacked, then no one can run away with the information. There is some regulation around what they're allowed to store, what they're not allowed to store. And most sites are not allowed to permanently store your CCV code. which is on the back of your card. It's the little 3 number digit that you use to verify the payments through there. So typically they'll want your credit card number, they'll want the expiry date, and they'll want the CVV codes. And the problem with that is that some of the guys don't comply and they store those details. And if you have all 3 sets of those details, you can transact anywhere without the card. So try not to store information anywhere. You never know who's going to be hacked next.